Yo, what's going on? As you can see, man, I'm out here again. It's fall, as you can see, with the changing of the colors of the leaves. Leaves are starting to fall, hence the name of the season. And I'm out here again. I want to preface before I kind of get into this. I've started recording all my videos outside because I don't know. I feel like there's like a groundedness to like just being outdoors, and like there's a clarity that comes with it as well. Clearly not for these dogs that are barking out here. They're all flustered, but yeah, it's something about being outside that just makes me cool, calm, and collected. So let's get into it, man, because today I really want to talk about the idea of manifestation and kind of how I really started to see the effects brought about in my life, and kind of how it coincides with the seasons as well. Just like as this particular video is concerned. I want to start out with a story though. So there's somebody who I work with, and he's quite a bit older than me, and he's kind of become a mentor in my life in recent months, just because well, obviously, like I said, he's older than me, but he is kind of he's a real hustler. Like he's always making money on the side, and even when he's not at work, he buys and sells and flips cars in his free time, basically. And he's always coming up to me. He's like, "Look at this car I just sold today. I just bought this car today. I'm about to fix it up and sell it next week." And I'm always like, damn, this dude is always hustling. Like, he's always on the grind. And like, to an extent, that's how I want to be as well. But I also just want to make money. I'll be honest. I just want to make money. Or at least there's a side of me that just wants to make money. But regardless, I was talking to him about this yesterday, and he was showing me a little bit about like the process of how he goes about buying them and then eventually selling them. And I was just like watching him go about this, and I just basically asked him, like, do you ever feel like you need assistance with this? Like, I wanted to become involved in his process. I wanted to kind of just leech off of him. It was just an instinctual thing to ask. And he's like, nah, I don't really need help with this type of thing. This is like something that I enjoy doing on my own time, and yeah, I don't need an assistant. I don't need an apprentice or whatever. And so I'm like, fuck. I wanted the handout, but obviously that's not what the universe had in mind for me. He's like, I can tell you're ambitious though. Like, it's all about finding what makes sense for you and like what makes sense for your circumstances. So I'm like, yeah. And he's like, tell you what, go home tonight and write down on a piece of paper 3 things that you want to achieve. It doesn't have to be short-term goals. It can be long-term. It can be medium-term goals. Because he told me that's the start of the process of change. If you want to bring about change, it's all about identifying, okay? Keep this in mind, because it's a key factor about manifestation too. And I'm gonna get into this here in a second, but he's like, it's all about identifying your goals. It's about identifying what you want to achieve. And so if you want to have, if you want to find a side hustle, for instance, well, somebody as myself, who I don't have any side hustles right now, but I have a lot of ideas, and for me, it's basically all about, for anybody really, it's just identify what you want to achieve, how you can go about achieving it. But the number one step is to identify what you want to achieve. What is the end goal? And it doesn't have to be very specific. And so that's what I did last night. I wrote down 3 things, and I'm not going to share what I wrote because they're kind of personal, and I don't want to ruin the power of manifestation. But I think I'm just going to try to make a habit out of doing it every night, because he said when you go to bed and you kind of internalize these things before you go to sleep, you wake up thinking about it too. And so if it's constantly on your mind, you are just kind of going to naturally bring about the change one way or another. And it was very inspiring to me to hear that, because for all these years I have heard about manifestation, and I've heard about, it's so real. People say, oh, it's so real. Like, once you kind of experience it, there's no denying that manifestation is real. And it really ties into the human conscious, because when your consciousness identifies something that it wants to be aligned with, it's just really interesting how you can kind of subconsciously take these steps to getting closer to that thing. Like, for instance, there's a lot of things that I have kind of seen this power like in full effect with, right? But I would say the number one most glaring thing is my physical body. All these years ago, when I used to get picked on about how skinny I was and how scrawny and this and that, I identified very early on, okay, I know I want to get fit. I know I want to get, I want my physical form to become something that I can be proud of. And that's something that I identified in high school, at the beginning of high school. And I look at myself now, and I've made a ridiculous amount of progress. Not only how I look, but how I feel. I feel like I could just go do something crazy just because I have brought about this change in my life. I've been working so hard over the years to bring about this change, and now I'm physically, I have so many things to be proud of. And my physical fitness is things that I talk about in a lot of different videos, but it's something that I kind of manifested, and I'm starting to realize that now. Wow, I identified the goal long ago, and I brought about change with time. And it's the same thing with side hustles. It's the same thing with maybe your career or your social life or your love life. When you want to change, just do it. Just start. You know what I'm saying? Just start the change. And I was talking to somebody on Reddit the other day. It's an r/spirituality. Shouts out to r/spirituality. This guy commented. He's basically yeah, there's lots of things about myself that that just don't really feel right. Like the way that I talk, the way that I dress. And I kind of used to feel that way too. Excuse me, by the way. I used to feel that way about myself to an extent, especially back in grade school. I was I feel like I just don't have any cool clothes. I don't have any cool pieces, whatnot. Golly. Dog over here barking a storm. Anyways, I used to feel that way too, man. And I started talking to him, and I was like, it's all about identifying what, how you want to talk or how you want to dress, and slowly take steps to becoming that version of yourself, because it's not hard to bring about change. You just have to know what you want to change into. So for me, it was all about, identifying how I wanted to look. And I started buying clothes for cheap, and now I have a wardrobe that I am pretty proud of. It's very versatile, and I've got a lot of cool clothes for cheap. And that's what I was trying to tell bro. I was on Reddit, I was it's just about finding these slow things that slow steps that you can make on a day-to-day basis, and slowly becoming that version of yourself. You can't just instantly change, right? Change takes a long time. And, you know, it ties into manifestation, because when you manifest change, if I, like, you know what I'm saying, I can sit here today, write down 3 more things that I want to achieve, and I keep writing things down each and every day. One day, I'm just going to be so enveloped in this cycle of change that I am just going to achieve my goals. Like, one day, way down the line. It's crazy, because that's just how manifestation works. And I'm being very vague and like broad with my language right now, because it can apply to anything. It can apply to your fitness. It can apply to, like I said, your social or your love life or whatever, man. Like, bringing about change is not hard. It's all about identifying the goals, the end goal. Where do you want to, like, what's the end goal? What do you want to achieve? And something that I didn't write down, but I am trying to get better with, something that I struggle with, and I say struggle with because it's kind of a, you know what I'm saying, it's a battle where sometimes it's a battle and sometimes it's a pleasure, but I still am like quite a bit of a stoner. And I've identified here recently, like, okay, being stoned all the time, it interrupts the way that I want to be. You know what I'm saying? It gets in the way of the person that I want to be. In the, like, that's the vaguest way that I could possibly describe it, right? And so, you know what I'm saying? I'll be honest, like, I used to be fried at work. I used to be fried at school all the time. Fried all the time. And it brought about a lot of anxiety. It brought about a lot of paranoia. And those 2 traits are not traits that I want to be aligned with. I don't want to be anxious. I don't want to be paranoid. And so the other day, I was literally just like, the ball is on my court. I could just stop buying the ZA. I could just change the way that I use it, right? So instead of smoking every day, all day, every day, I brought about change in my life. I am only doing it during the nighttime right now. And my long-term goal, I want to be quit by the summer. I want to completely quit ZA by the summer, because I know that as a father in the future, as a future leader, being high all the time is not how I want people to how I want people to see me. As of right now, like, a lot of people in my circle kind of see me as a stoner. I'm like, well, it makes sense, because that's just my current habits. But I have to bring about change if these aren't things that I want to be aligned with. So I'll stop rambling here. This video has gone on too long, but I just want you guys to be aware of the power of manifestation, because, like I said, man, the ball is in your court. You want to bring about change, you can do it. It's just about identifying the end goal. Identify. I can't say it enough. Because the power is real, and this universe is very generous when, you know, as it pertains to people who follow the universal laws. And when you realize the power of manifestation, you realize the power of your consciousness, and you realize these 2 ideas, when they come together, you can create really crazy things. The universe will bless you. The universe will give you what you deserve. And I'm in the process of that right now. So yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. Y'all keep manifesting, because you are going to get what you deserve if you work hard in this life, man. I'm convinced that's how it is for everybody. There's universal laws, man. Anyways, I'm gonna stop rambling on. If you made it to the end of this video, thanks for watching. And I'll see you from a month from now when I can find something else to talk about.